So you recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Make sure I don't look like a mess. Okay. Hi all, welcome back to another video. Today I'm recording with my boyfriend Tom and we're going to be answering some of the questions that you have sent in for today's Q&A. So let's get right to it. So the first question that we received was, how did we meet? Do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, so we met at uni. Met at the Vegetarian Society at uni. So this year, just gone, both of us were committee members. So we obviously had to do a lot together, do a lot of organisation and things like that. Although technically we met the year before, so that would be my second year and Hannah's first year at uni. But right at the end, I think we both remember having one conversation, but we didn't really know each other. And but then, yeah, obviously this year we've got to know each other through being committee members, and especially on the first session we had, because we were all sort of really unorganised and three of our committee members weren't even there, so we had to sort of run the session, like make a meal, because that's what we did every week. We made a meal for the people that came. So we had to get all the ingredients, but we hadn't planned anything because we thought that it started the week after, so we were just really unorganised, but it was a good bonding session.
Yeah, on the spot we decided to make a chili because that was going to be really easy, but then we came to the little on-campus store and they didn't even have ingredients for a chili, so we made some
literally just got whatever vegetables they had and just
some weird stew or soup or whatever it was, and we had to make our little speeches to everyone there, and yeah, it was chaotic. It was a good bonding experience.
At least there was two of us.
Yeah, exactly. It would have not been quite as nice.
Yeah.
Just on your own. So how long have we been a couple?
So yeah, since about October, was it?
Yeah, October.
Roughly.
So about 9 months then.
Yeah.
Did he know you before, during and after your eating disorder?
Yeah, just after.
Yeah, just after. And how did he feel about your eating disorder, and how did he react when you told him?
Well, you never really told me, but it was just sort of obvious because when I started to get to know you, I obviously added you on Facebook and stuff like that, and you've got you've got your YouTube channel, and there's things on social media that are that make it obvious, and your book, I heard about that, and that's all, I knew what that was about, so it was quite obvious. But yeah, obviously I didn't assume anything, but then when I asked you more, it wasn't a problem. It's part of who you are, and that's what I like. It's made you the person you are, and so there's nothing wrong with it. I like it.
Yeah, and the next question is sort of linked to this. Do you sometimes speak about your eating disorder? And I think that was sort of answered before. We have spoken about it, and it's still something that could potentially come up, but it's not like we speak about it all the time. It's not really, I don't think it's super relevant. It's just something that, happened in the past, so it's something that we can talk about if we want to, or if we feel it's relevant, but it's not.
I do think it does shape you, but in a good way, because you've obviously had to be so strong to overcome something like that, and that says a lot about your character and who you are now.
So yeah, if you do talk about it, does it annoy him?
No, not at all.
Yeah. And then moving on to a slightly different question, what do you like most about each other? I think that's quite an easy question. I don't know, just everything. No, I think I especially like just how caring you are, and the way you treat other people, friends, family, me, and it just really shows how much you care about other people, and yeah, just really nice.
Yeah, I think similar for you, and like, I think we're just really compatible. We've got similar values and interests, and like we're just both nice people. We care about the same things, and yeah, it's really nice.
Again, moving on, slightly different topic, but I guess related, what are your thoughts on the honeymoon phase, and do you find that the initial excitement from a relationship fades out?
I certainly remember when it was like really intensely exciting, and you know, I'd be thinking about you all the time, but that's not necessarily a good thing because you need to concentrate on other things, but yeah, it's obviously still exciting, and we still look forward to things, and it just changes and sort of you get to know each other on a deeper level, and it's just nicer, you know, you feel more comfortable and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that the initial excitement doesn't fade, but it just changes a little bit, because I know I used to get really excited to meet up with you, but I think I still do. It is different now, and we have different things to look forward to, but we always have things to look forward to. For example, with this holiday, when we went traveling together, that was something I really, really, really looked forward to, even though we're much further on in our relationship.
Yeah.
So
we don't even spend that much time apart to know, like, to be excited to see each other, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always exciting, I think.
Yeah, but then I'm excited to just be with you during the day, or to like wake up with you there. So.
But it can, I think, if you don't connect, it can fade, and you're sort of left with nothing if you don't, like, if you're not compatible. Then obviously it might just have been that initial excitement and spark that sort of kept you interested.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think the next two questions sort of link in with this as well. So, does it get more boring to spend time together? No, not if you keep it interesting. And in what way does the relationship change? I think at first you're really excited to learn more about the other person. And I think once you know more about them, I think you can still get excited, but just to get to know them on a deeper level, and to just to get even closer than you were initially.
And I think the biggest change is we're just so comfortable with each other now, like we don't, not trying to impress each other or anything like that, we're just being ourselves, and that's really nice.
Yeah.
I can just live like I normally would without, like, it's just nice.
We also got several questions relating to veganism. The first one being how long you have been vegan.
So, I've been vegetarian my whole life, but I started thinking about veganism in my first year at uni, because I remember people were questioning why I was vegetarian, just because they were interested, and you know, I said it was for the animals and stuff like that, but apart from that I didn't have much else to say, and it made me go and do some more research, and then with that research I found out more things about the dairy industry that made me realise that if I really wanted to align my morals with my actions, I had to be vegan as well. So I started, but I'd say from then I've sort of only really bought vegan products, but then I'd sometimes, if I went out, you know, with my friends, or if I went on holiday, then I'd go back to just being vegetarian. So yeah, I don't know, sort of started transitioning from about 3 years ago, but I'd say I've been properly vegan for maybe since the start of this uni year, so yeah.
Yeah, I think that's sort of similar to my story as to how I transitioned to vegetarianism, because I sort of wanted to be vegetarian since I was a child, but I wasn't really allowed to transition as a child from like my parents' part and all of that. But then, also in recovery, it was sort of suggested I didn't transition at that point in time. But then once I went to university and felt like I was in a good headspace, I thought it was time to sort of transition to vegetarianism. But at that point I still ate meat sometimes, and back last summer I did eat a bit more meat again, just because I didn't always have a choice and I was traveling with other people, and it got quite complicated. But then since the start of this university year, I've been fully vegetarian, and since meeting you, well, basically vegan as well. The next question is, did Hanne's decision to go vegan for you, because it was easier than making 2 dishes, make you worried?
Yeah, so first of all, like, that wasn't the reason. I never force you to go vegan or anything like that. It's just, it's just when we did eat meals together, we ate similar things anyway, so we didn't have to change a lot for it to suit us both. And I wasn't worried, because obviously I know what I'm doing, because I've done it for longer, and I've got similar goals in that I'm going to the gym and I'm trying to gain weight and stuff, so like I know it's possible to still be healthy and gain weight on a vegan diet, so obviously I wasn't worried.
And then the next question is to me, whether I feel I'm denying myself, and I don't think I am, because changing from vegetarian to vegan for me didn't feel like much of a change. Obviously I did eat a lot of dairy before, but there's just so many alternatives out there that I don't feel I'm denying myself anything. And even with meat products, there's lots of alternatives to that as well. So if I do want to eat any kind of meat, I can just have a meat alternative, and I don't feel like I'm restricting in any way. Also, I just eat a variety of foods, so I don't feel like I'm missing anything. So I don't feel like I'm denying myself anything at all.
And I think neither of us really like the label of vegan, because we're not restricted by what we eat. Like, if we wanted to, we could eat, we can eat whatever we want. People say like, oh, if you're vegan you can't eat that, but it's just a choice you make every time, so like, we can do whatever we want, we just choose. That's how we choose to eat. But
yeah, and that's also why my channel is not completely changed from what it was before, because I think my channel is still just about being your best self and recovery and everything that I stood for before, and it's not suddenly go vegan, because I don't think that's what I'm trying to portray. Obviously if you want to go vegan and you're in a good headspace, then sure, that's great, but personally I don't really like labeling myself all that much, and I don't think putting yourself in a certain category is really necessary to make a difference, because there's just so many ways you can make a difference to for the environment, for the animals, for anything that you stand for. So the next question, what are your thoughts on being vegan in recovery? I've talked about this in a previous video, but I still stand with what I said before. For me personally, I didn't want to transition to vegetarian or vegan while in recovery, just because I didn't want to restrict myself in any way or make it difficult on myself, because I knew for myself, and this can be different for anyone obviously, I knew for myself that would just be a way to maybe check food labels more, or to limit the kinds of products that I could freely have. Plus, in hospital, it would probably be frowned upon as well, I think. But yeah, that's why I only transitioned after I felt like I was, mentally in the right place and free of eating disorder related thoughts. But if you feel like you're at that place and you want to transition, of course do so, and even if you're not, it is ultimately your choice, but try to evaluate the reasons for why you want to make these diet changes, because ultimately I think your health comes first, and only after you've attended to yourself and feel like you are mentally and physically healthy can you truly make a difference for other people, other animals, and the environment.
Yeah. So there could be people that are still thinking about food a lot and are sort of in that scenario where they want to go vegan, but they're not sure whether it is their sort of eating disorder brain telling them to or not.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you can experiment with it a little bit if you think you're in the right headspace. You can try it out. You can always go back if you feel like it is triggering anything. As for me, I sort of just waited until I felt sure that it was gone, because I thought I was recovered, but then occasionally I'd still have some thoughts that would sort of come up. So I personally decided to wait until that was completely gone. But I guess you can't say to any individual that they should follow the exact same path to recovery as anyone else, because it's bound to be different.
Yeah. But I think it's important, if you did go vegan, that you obviously eat a varied diet, because I know that when I started to eat vegan, I expanded my variety just because I would replace certain things, and it's important not to just get rid of food without bringing in other things, I think.
Yeah, I think I already ate a lot of variety before, but especially for many people who sort of have certain foods more frequently and don't really try everything, I do think it is important to try everything.
There's a lot of really fussy people that just wouldn't survive.
Yeah, because you do still need to get all your nutrients and
Yeah.
everything, so can't be too fussy then.
But then again, those fussy people are probably not getting much variety in their diet at the moment either. But anyway.
Then to me, do you miss not being vegan? And how did you find going vegan given your past eating disorder struggles? I don't miss not being vegan. I think the only thing I initially probably missed a little bit was maybe salmon or cheese, but then for cheese or any dairy products, there's so many replacements out there that that's not really an issue anymore. And yeah, I don't regret anything. I don't miss anything. Perfectly happy like this, and it wasn't really a problem regardless of the past struggles, because as I said before, they're in the past and they're no longer affecting me now. So now we're moving on from the topic of veganism, and the next question is, do you struggle with intimacy issues? And if not, how did you overcome them? So I guess I did talk about this in 2 previous videos, and I'll link them below if you haven't seen them yet. But yeah, I don't really think we have any issues like that, just because we really respect each other's boundaries and are able to and willing to talk about literally anything. So if there is any problem, that can easily be brought up, which sort of just gets rid of any issues that could arise anyway.
Yeah. I think I was always aware that you might be like more shy or something like that, but not really, like you haven't. It's been really comfortable, and we haven't had any problems. But Yeah.
No, and I think I guess it'll also just feel right when you're with the right person that makes you feel comfortable, that makes you feel just good about yourself. But obviously you also need to be in a good place yourself beforehand, because if you can't really love yourself, it's going to be much more difficult to let someone else in and to allow someone else to love you for who you are.
Yeah, definitely.
Going on to more light-hearted questions. What's your favorite pasta recipe?
So we recently made two of our classic pasta dishes. So we do a pesto one and a like cheesy one, or vegan cheesy one.
Mm-hmm.
So the pesto one, in the sauce we put in some sort of nut, so like walnut. We did last time. That was really good.
And we roasted them as well.
Yeah. And then obviously basil, oil, like olive oil, nutritional yeast, garlic, lemon juice.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
Yeah, just blend all of that up and have that with pasta and any kind of sautéed vegetables that you like.
Yeah. And then in the cheesy one, the sauce was nutritional yeast, lemon, garlic, milk.
And mustard.
And yeah, like a teaspoon of Dijon mustard
Mm-hmm.
is the best.
And I will also include these recipes on my blog, the link to which is also in the description, and in my recipe book, which I'm still working on, so keep an eye out for that.
And then I always like to have some sort of protein in there, so tofu or seitan, or just beans or lentils.
Mm-hmm.
Although we tend to have lentils more with rice, but yeah.
Yeah, and we also have a tomato sauce one where I will tend to add red wine. I really like that, and we could add some Marmite, and then seitan or lentils, or chickpeas. And lots of different vegetables.
We
and
also
herbs.
quite like sun-dried tomatoes and olives.
Yeah.
We put that in a lot of stuff. And I've recently discovered capers, which I really like.
Yeah, so that's basically our staples. Any one of these three sauces, just with loads of vegetables, and that will be a typical meal. What's your favourite plant milk?
Well, so we just found one we really like. It's called Milk, spelled M-Y-L-K, and the company is called Rebel's Kitchen. Yeah, we found that in Bath in Sainsbury's, and we really like that one because it's probably the most similar to milk in that it's like really creamy and just, nice. It's the only one I think I've ever found that sort of tries to imitate real milk.
Yeah, and it also has
cow's milk.
Very natural ingredients and everything.
Yeah.
Except sadly, I haven't really been able to find it anywhere but England so far, because I've checked in Slovakia and I've checked in Austria and some of the places that we traveled to, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So if you can't find it where you're at, I also really like cashew, and that's probably my second favourite. Or, well, I guess soy and almond. They're all quite nice, but they're obviously different. They're not trying to resemble actual milk per se.
And we've also tried tiger nut milk once, but you're not going to find that in many places.
No, but that was good.
But that was good, yeah.
So what is the best experience from your trip and best place you've been in?
I think we've both agreed on these two. There's two that stand out. One was the waterfall, Slapberry. It's where we had that 6-hour trek down a mountain and then back up again, because we started at the top of the mountain and we're like, oh right, so the waterfall must be down, so we started walking down. I mean,
it starts at the top, but it obviously moves down, so we had to
you can't really see it from the top. But then we sort of followed a path, but then we saw the waterfall from like across the mountain, so we walked all the way down, got some lunch, although that was another walk. But basically it took us ages to eventually find it, and that's what made it so sweet when we found it.
Yeah, really rewarding when we finally got there.
Yeah, and there was no one there. There was no one there on the whole walk. It's like it wasn't touristy at all. But so it was just really beautiful when we found it and had it all to ourselves.
Yeah, and it was just really hot that day, so when we finally got into the really, really cold water,
Yeah.
it was just so refreshing and so calming and just really nice.
That's lush.
And we had to do a lot of climbing that day and really enjoyed that. Hence why we also liked this second experience a lot when we went canyoning. This was also lots of climbing and jumping and sliding down waterfalls.
Yeah. And the big jump we had was really good. Gave you a bit of adrenaline.
Yeah, so yeah, we really enjoyed those two experiences. Obviously we enjoyed the entire trip,
Yeah.
but those were probably the highlights for both of us.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was all of your questions. I hope you liked this video, and if you do like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, to subscribe, and as it is holidays, I'm uploading more frequently, so I will see you again soon.